and welcome back to the 63rd episode of the Tundra. Today is just Rossi and I.
What up?
So the Stanley Cup Finals, depending on when you're watching this and depending when we get this out, it's 3 days away, and once again, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be a part of the final two teams. It's not fun. It's pretty boring actually, and they're going to be facing off against the Colorado Avalanche. So I guess we can get started into this preview. Now, I don't think we got to talk a lot about Tampa Bay, considering the fact that they're back-to-back Cup champions. We all know what they are. They got probably the best goalie in the world. They got a Norris Trophy defenseman on the back end, and their top nine's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Not much needs to be said about Tampa Bay to talk about what kind of team they are and what they've done. They've been here before, and then they were there again, and now they're gonna be here a third time. So
At least. Oh, sorry, you can keep going.
It's not like much needs to be said about Tampa Bay at all. You could just say Tampa Bay is in the finals again, and people would understand why.
Yeah, at least this time they're not going. This time they're facing off against a good opponent. It's
Unlike the last 2 years.
Yeah, basically. Are you telling me that Montreal and Dallas are supposed to be good teams?
I'm not trying to say that. I thought that they had two very easy opponents.
I'm not discrediting what Tampa has done, but if you just look at their Cup Finals opponents, they're not, maybe the best quality teams, as one would say.
No.
But this is also going to be a challenge for Colorado because they're not going to have Nazem Kadri probably for the first half of the playoffs, and Braden Point's coming back for Tampa. Yeah. He's coming back. So that's going to be such a major addition for that Tampa Bay squad who hasn't had him since Game 7 against Toronto.
Yeah. But I guess before we get into predicting things, so the Rangers fan that punched the Tampa Bay fan and knocked him out, you are a loser.
Yeah.
You are a loser, and anyone who defends you is a loser. And I recommend that you watch the previous video about the playoffs. And what I say to Blues fans, I'll say to you, you just need to know that, and that's what I'm saying to you. I'm not gonna say
that video got deleted because audio issues.
No, because I said it again.
Oh yeah, sorry, you did say it. Never mind.
Yeah, I did say it again. So yeah, I guess it's now time to talk about the series that's upcoming. So obviously, it's the Colorado Avalanche at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Colorado Avalanche will have home ice advantage, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, they do.
And so obviously it's gonna be a big. Hopefully, it's gonna be big and exciting.
It's probably the best finals we've had in some time, to be honest.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You look at the two teams. Now, when it comes to Tampa Bay, for Colorado, they need to get to Vasilevsky. It's been done before. New York got to Vasilevsky a couple times during the series, and Toronto was all over Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky's human. He can be beaten. You just got to beat him.
Yeah.
And Kemper, he's been good. Obviously, with who he's had to face.
Actually, I was gonna bring that up. What do you do with the goaltending? Because Francouz showed well against the Oilers. Kemper's, ever since his eye injury against Nashville, hasn't been the greatest. It's what do you do in goal if you're the Colorado Avalanche?
You go with Kemper.
Yeah, he's your ride or die. Huh?
Yeah, you go with Kemper, especially because Kemper is more experienced, and let's face it, if you're going to look at his stats, don't look at his stats against Edmonton, because Edmonton is going to score a lot no matter who the goalie is.
Yeah.
So,
unless you're Jonathan Quick, but yeah.
Yeah, unless you're Jonathan Quick, but Quick is special.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is Kemper just needs to step up a little bit. He's obviously there's been some games where he's not been the best, and there's been games where he's been very good. Now the thing is that he needs to step up when needed, and Colorado's offense needs to get to Vasilevsky. It's going to be a
Hmm.
big problem without Nazem Kadri. He's
Yeah.
he's definitely a big playmaker and will and drives all the and drives everything. And then you have Arturi
I mean,
Lehkonen.
they don't even have Samuel Girard too. That's another thing. They're missing another top four defenseman. Like they're pretty banged up going into the series.
They are banged up, but they still have the big pieces. And can, if any team in a series where you need to score 4 goals a game to win potentially, it's Colorado.
Yeah. No, I just want to like I want to touch on like the fact of the matter is that it's I this is gonna be the best goalie the Avs have faced throughout this entire playoff run, and like I mean you faced off against Connor Ingram and David Riddick in the first round. You played against UC Saros, and I mean not UC Saros. You played against Jordan Bennington and Ville Husso in the second round, and I mean the third round you basically played a 40-year-old Mike Smith. Like they don't even compare to Andrei Vasilevsky, and like we've seen games where Ingram like I forgot which game it was. I think it was game 2 or 3. You
It
can
was both. It was like two,
or
three.
Ingram was like where if Nashville they just got some scoring, they would have won that game because of Ingram. And like we know Vasilevsky can steal these games. That's why I'm really leaning towards the Tampa Bay Lightning here. And like once again, they're winning games without point. They're gonna get point back for this series. You know, like this Tampa team is just it's clicking. They didn't show out against Toronto, but ever since then, like they've been on a roll. Like Andre Palat has, I think, in my opinion, has been the best player for the Tampa Bay Lightning this playoff run. I know Kucherov leads the team in points, but in terms of the timing of goals, just all around defensive play, Palat's been their best player. Victor Hedman is showing, his Norris usual self. Corey Perry's chipping in, offensively. I'm pretty sure I saw a stat where Anthony Cirelli, like Anthony Cirelli, has been on for like 2 goals against 5v5 this entire playoff run. It's been insane. Like this, this Tampa team, you could probably argue is better than the last year's team. It's so crazy, and I mean, like, sure, McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog, those guys can probably carry you through one game. I don't know if they can carry you through 4 against this team.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the big thing is Colorado's gonna have to step up, and they're gonna have to be on top of Tampa just all series long. They cannot let anybody get breathing room.
Like another thing I look at is adversity. Tampa's been through a lot of adversity these playoffs. They're down 3-2 against Toronto. They came back and won that series. They sweep the Panthers, but I mean, they're about to go 3-0 down to the Rangers. Like the game 3 was tied 2-2. That was about to head overtime. The Palat scored that goal with 40 seconds left. That goes overtime. Who knows what happens? If the Rangers score in overtime that game, Tampa's out. So, and I mean, once again, they're the back-to-back Cup champions. They know what it takes to win in these situations. And like once again, I'm not it's done. Like I know they've overcame the second round adversity, but just the quality of opponents that both teams have faced have been so much different. And like like most people are gonna be cheering for Colorado in this series. Of course, no one wants to see a Tampa Bay three-peat besides Tampa Bay fans. But when I just look at the injuries, just how the team is playing, goaltending, everything, like I think the stats favor Tampa in this matchup. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a fun series, like we said. But I mean, I just like I said last year when Tampa beat Montreal. I've been saying it throughout the entire playoff run. Tampa's three-peating, and I just don't think anyone's gonna be stopping this team. Not even Colorado. I think I guess I guess we can do our predictions now. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay in 6. I think they win on home ice. I think McKinnon, those guys will still one game against Vasilevsky. But for the fact of the matter is, Darcy Kemper can do all his best. Like Tampa Bay just beat Shesterkin, so going from Shesterkin to Kemper it's a downgrade. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay in 6 here.
My prediction is I just to have a bit of difference of opinions. I'm gonna say Colorado in 7,
Okay.
and I've been saying it for since like midway through the season, even before the season started. This is the year that Colorado finally wins the cup, and if they don't, well, they kind of didn't have a fucking chance with Tampa.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, they should still be good next year. Like they're still gonna be like a top 3 team in the West. Like I just think this is kind of their best chance of winning it.
it's their best chance of winning it.
Who knows?
But
Maybe they pull Washington because I 2018 Washington, the 2018 Washington team wasn't the greatest roster. Honestly, it wasn't that spectacular, but they got the job done. So we'll see what happens with the Avs. I just think if it was anyone but Tampa, the Avs probably will steamroll that opponent. But it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. You can't count them out. People are counting them out against Toronto. People were saying, "Oh, Florida's gonna wreck them." When it was 2-0 Rangers, like, "Oh, the Rangers are so Tampa Bay." Like, you can't count them out whatsoever. They got championship DNA.
could you imagine if New York had beaten Tampa in the conference finals and we had to see Colorado versus New York?
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, a sweep?
He probably the Avs killed them. I've
Yeah.
been seeing it too. Like if the Oilers somehow got past Colorado, the Oilers would beat the Rangers. Like the Rangers are, to me, like the Rangers were like coming in like maybe the third worst team. The only reason why they're here in the first place is because of Sturkin. Speaking about the Rangers, Artemi Panarin had 1 5v5 point this entire series against Tampa Bay.
Man was just out there skating.
He was doing cardio, man. He was just doing cardio. Now, if there's one thing, I'm going to bring it back to Tampa Bay here for a sec. There's one thing that I think Colorado does have the significant edge over is the defense. I mean, Devon Taves, Bowen Byram, Josh Manson, K.O. Makar. I mean, that's a great top 4. Eric Johnson's been playing well. There's also Jack Johnson. So there's that. But it's significantly better than Tampa Bay's defense, who I like Hedman. I think Chernik is good, but besides that, I mean, McDonough's is good. No, I feel like Sergachev is vastly overrated. I think he's a good second pair D man. I think that's all he is. I don't think he'll ever live up to that first pair hype like he was at the draft.
I think you're kind of overestimating Colorado's defense because I've been saying this forever, and it's proven true forever. The best way to beat Colorado in their defense, and the best way just to beat them, is to make them play defense. They are not very good at doing that.
I mean, Makar and Taves are.
Yeah, they're good, but
I know Gerard has a lot of defensive issues. Byram is a rookie, so that's expected. I'm pretty sure when the Manson trade happened, I saw his analytics. Holy crap! I mean, I know he's on Anaheim, but for a supposed shutdown guy, it's not that good. And I don't know if it improved in Colorado. I haven't seen any updates since then, so maybe it has. But you're right. I mean, there are some of those guys. I mean, Shaq Johnson too can't play defense, but you're right. There are some guys on that D core that aren't the best in that category. So that is fair. But when you're talking about if you're just looking at it name value wise and just on paper, Colorado still smokes the Tampa Bay Lightning.
defense was, yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much for the finals preview. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have fun watching this. It starts Wednesday, June 15th, 8 p.m. Central. If for American users, ESPN and ABC. Here in Canada, it'll be on CBC and Sportsnet. And may the best team win. And the Tampa Bay three-peats, well, I don't know what to say. Now,
If Tampa Bay three-peats, you gotta next video you gotta have your camera on and shave your head.
I'm not pulling a bit. Screw that garbage.
I'm not saying shave your head so you look like an 80-year-old man, just like bald. Just go bald, man.
Fine, if that happens, I'll do it. Now, now let's get into the second part of today's podcast.
Sort of the rumor mill.
Yeah, coaching. So I got the list here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams without a head coach going into next year. There's a lot of coach firings this offseason, a bunch. So let's start with Boston. I don't know why the fuck they fired Bruce Cassidy. It was stupid, and it still is stupid. What's your thoughts on that?
It's stupid. I don't understand. The Islanders, you fired Trotz for Lou Lamoriello's fault. And I know we've had a lot of very nice run-ins with Islanders fans. They're never assholes in the comments, you know.
Yep.
They never put their foot in their mouth and then make themselves look dumb. You know,
Yep.
they're always pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, in your nicest way possible, maybe tell us why Barry Trotz should have been fired. Because I can't.
Barzal.
What, Barzal?
Like Barzal hated him or something like that.
Bruh, Barzal's not even a first line centerman on any team. Just send him off for like a good player.
I've always stated I always think Barzal is kind of overrated.
He is overrated. He fucking sucks. I don't know one team that he'd be a fucking first line center on, except maybe Arizona. Yeah.
Besides, how about Buffalo?
No, they have
Tage Thompson.
No, he's a winger. They have what's his name?
Middlestat.
No. Who's in the middle of that line this year? The Thompson, Skinner, and
Cousins. Oh yeah, Cousins.
Yeah, they have Cousins. They have screw it. They have Thompson. He's not a first line center on any team besides Arizona and the Islanders.
Oh yeah. But back to Boston. Who do you think Boston replaces Bruce Cassidy with? They're not going to be as good as Bruce Cassidy, but who do you think?
Well, Boston has already said that they don't want to hire someone that's in the coaching carousel.
That's good.
So you can immediately cross off people like Tocchet, Trotz, Tortorella, and all those guys.
Pete DeBoer, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes me think that we're gonna see something like maybe they have the head coach from Providence start coaching, or maybe they bring in someone from another league, or maybe they just promote one of their assistants to head coach.
I heard that they're gonna bring in either Joe Sacco, who's the assistant coach right now for Bruins, or I'm trying to remember his name. I think it's Jay Leach out of Seattle, who used to coach the Bruins AHL team. So some familiarity. I think they want to go with a familiar guy, someone they know, but that's also never been a head coach, so it's still kind of fresh and new. We'll see. Oh yeah, did you know that Sweeney fired Cassidy by going to his house? He knocked on the door and said, "Hey, Bruce, you're fired." That happened. He went up to his house and fired him like that.
Oh god. That makes me think of in the MLB, right?
Yeah.
The Angels run like a 14-game losing streak.
Did this just happen? I read.
Yeah, this just happened, and during the losing streak, they fired their manager Joe Madden. And reports had just come out like the other day that Joe Madden had shaved his head to a mohawk to inspire the team, because you know managers do that sometimes in baseball. but
Yeah.
the team never got to see it because he got fired the same day he did it.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
So he did that. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're firing you," and he's just like,
She just shaved his head to a mohawk for no reason.
yeah, you got
Basically.
fired."
Jesus Christ. MLB, man. Chicago. Uh, I don't know what Chicago's going to do here. I think they should just bring back Derek King, to be honest. I think a lot of players improved under him, specifically Seth Jones. He seemed like a good fit there. I don't know. I don't really know what Chicago's going to do. They might even trade Alex to Brinkett. So, like, who knows
They're also,
what
I
they're
don't know if you
planning.
saw it, but they're also willing to trade Kirby Doc.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah. I mean, it's their
Um,
own fault he's becoming a bust. I don't know why they rushed him first year. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what Chicago does. Like I don't think like they're not making the playoffs for another 5 years at least.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's longer than 5 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say this. I'd say the Blackhawks go to like the mid 2000s era where they were just terrible.
no one showed up. The TV ratings.
Yeah,
That was a dark time. That was a dark time for the Blackhawks fans.
and I'm gonna love to see that happen again.
Yeah, I know you. So, do you know who? Do you have any idea who's gonna replace King as a coach, or do you think they bring back King?
They won't bring back King, I don't think, because there's no reason to let him go and then just bring
Right.
him back. I could see them bringing in someone like again from the AHL. I could see them trying to bring in. Um, Man, why am I blanking on names?
Like this is like the one coaching situation. Like I don't really care what happens because like this dude's gonna get fired in 3 years and it's not gonna be his fault.
Yeah, like
So like
it could
you know what?
be.
I'm gonna go a hot take here. I'm gonna go Brunette.
You think Brunette?
He's a former Hawk. They know him, and I don't think Florida brings Brunette back anyways. They
Yeah,
shouldn't anyways. They shouldn't.
yeah. I think that might work, or they could just go off the rails and just hire just anybody.
Hire someone from like the freaking Adam Triple A hockey team, like Montreal did with St. Louis.
Yeah.
Just who I
Or
mean,
they could hire a recently retired like Hawk and would make no sense.
Brent Seabrook.
Yeah, or just something like
Okay.
that.
Let's go to Dallas. I think I know who's gonna be the coach here. I'm gonna say it's Peter DeBoer. There's been a lot of rumors connecting the Stars and Peter DeBoer, and whoever hires Peter DeBoer, you're also a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see Dallas hire DeBoer.
I think Talkett in Dallas would have been a better fit though.
I mean, I'm just wanting Dallas to not be good, so go with DeBoer.
DeBoer, yeah.
But yeah, the best fit for them would be Talkett.
Talkett would be perfect for that team. But yeah, DeBoer's probably gonna get hired there. Stars fans, I mean, DeBoer usually has like a good first year. Then they start to suck. So Dallas, enjoy one good season. Then yeah, have fun with him afterwards. Detroit is interesting because it's Steve Yzerman, so this can go millions of ways. I'm gonna go. I'm either gonna say Sergei Fedorov or there's that one coach from Switzerland. I think his name is like Ricard Gronberg or something like that. He's been very highly touted in the past, so I'm gonna go one of them.
I was talking to a friend who writes for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
And he had some interesting ideas for who he would like to see be the coach. And something I brought up was I brought up Igor Larionov.
Oh yeah.
So I think it could be Fedorov, Larion, Igor Larionov, or the guy from Sweden, or just anybody. It is Yzerman, so if you're a Red Wings fan, whatever he wants, trust in it, because it's probably going to be the good idea.
Yeah. Florida, I already said Brunette is probably not going to come back. He shouldn't anyways. And I'm going to go with Bruce Cassidy as his replacement. I think Cassidy fits that team well. I think Cassie's a very good coach. I think they need that. Brunette. I mean, a lot of Panther fans do not like him whatsoever. And they really need to get over that hump. Like you just won the President's Trophy. You had the best offensive season from a team we haven't seen since the '80s, and you're out in the second round in a sweep. That is not that can't happen.
And your
So I
power
think
play is terrible.
somehow,
It was
so yeah, I
worse.
think
It was worse than last year Nashville Predators. That's how bad it was.
remember the 2019 Nashville Predators in the playoffs. They went 0%.
Yeah, don't bring it up, please.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But and Cassie's teams have always played such a strong two-way style of game, and that's what the Panthers need. I'm gonna go with Cassidy.
Yeah.
Okay. Philly, we know who's gonna be the coach. Basically, it basically was confirmed a long ass time ago. It's gonna be Tortorella. You know what? Philly and Tortorella kind of makes sense. If you really think about it, it's kind of a fit. It's a pretty good fit.
It's Tortorella. He's a lightning rod. He's going to be very good for the first year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, and then it's just gonna be.
Yeah. But you know what? Philly is known about being brass and tough and in your face. That's what Tortorella is. It's like the perfect marriage right there.
Like when he tried to attack the Calgary players.
That was awesome. That was his only season as a Canuck too.
They were just like, bro.
Let's go to Vegas, and I'm gonna go with the controversial one here. We know Vegas doesn't give a shit about its own reputation, so why not damage that further and go with Coach Quenneville?
I don't know about that.
I
Even Vegas isn't that stupid.
I think Vegas is that stupid. I think Vegas is gonna do the stupid.
Oh.
And it's kind of spoils my Winnipeg pick, but you can go ahead. Who do you think goes for Vegas? I think they do the stupid.
Oh, I don't even know who they would go with, because I don't think it'd be Quenneville. I don't think they're that stupid. I don't think anybody's gonna hire Quenneville. I think it's gonna be Claude Julien.
Oh yeah, Julien.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
I think it'd be Claude Julien.
Okay, so now we got Winnipeg, and I mean I think this one's probably the obvious one. I got Barry Trotz going to Winnipeg. He's from there. They need a big change. Julien, Barry Trotz to Winnipeg.
For Winnipeg, I just want to say right now, I lied. I think Winnipeg is gonna bring in Quenneville.
What?
Yeah.
You think Trotz goes unhired?
No. Someone's gonna hire Trotz, but it's not. But the person who hired Trotz, the person who's gonna hire Trotz, right, hasn't fired their coach yet. There's gonna be a coaching fire or something, and Trotz is gonna come in for that.
Who do you think that is?
I don't know yet, but I feel like it's gonna be an Eastern Conference team.
Eastern.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was gonna say Washington. I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way that happens. I mean, unless Barry wants to go back to Washington.
I mean, the only reason he left is because he did what his goal was.
I'm just trying to think.
He's got unfinished business with the Preds, but the Preds have their head coach. He was just fired. I could see maybe replacing head coaches.
I said maybe New Jersey.
Yeah, maybe New Jersey. But in my opinion, he either gets hired in the off season, during the off season, or sometime during the season.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Cheveldayoff is gonna bring in Quenneville because because while I don't think that anybody's stupid enough to bring in Quenville, at the same time, it's Chevrolet Day off. He knows Quenville, and let's face it, Quenville is something that Winnipeg needs.
A little bit, I
Yeah,
would say.
Winnipeg would definitely benefit from Quenville's style and such,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I don't know. I don't believe that uh, any team will be dumb enough to bring him in. So in my opinion,
I just think Vegas, with how they've handled stuff in the past, I think that's what's gonna happen.
Winnipeg brings in Quenville, and then another team is going to bring in Trotz. I don't know what team that is yet, but I have a
Yeah,
feeling that I have a feeling that a team that isn't looking for a head coach right now will eventually have Trotz, either before the season starts or sometime during the season.
that's fair. Yeah, that's basically it for today's episode. Um, Remember, guys, we'll be streaming the draft on July 7th and 8th when that comes around. We'll have a lot of off-season content. We'll do the free agency stuff again. Um, and yeah, so stay tuned for future videos. Enjoy the final 2 weeks or whatever we have left of the NHL season. And we'll see you guys next time.